Hi there. I'd like to welcome everybody to our latest Variety Friday. And today we have Jodi Cooper, who is the Community Impact Director from the United Way Hastings and County chapter. And she's going to talk to us about community programs and resources. So welcome, Jodi.
Hi, thanks, Karen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to share some information and resources today.
Excellent. Well, I know you've been doing a lot. Well, you always do a lot, but with the whole COVID situation, I'm sure you've been busier than usual even.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been interesting times, but yeah, really proud and excited to see the community come together and really support each other during these times.
Perfect. Well, that sounds great. And so now we'll get down to what United Way Hastings and Prince Edward United Way does on a regular basis. I know you do a lot for the communities. So if you want to give some examples, that would be great.
Great, thank you. Well, let me see if I can get our presentation here. So,
perfect.
There we go. So yes, as you said, we really do a lot of things locally. So I'll just take maybe a brief moment to highlight some of the things that we'd really like you to know about us. Of course, we are best known as a fundraiser and a funder, and those are very important roles, and we do put a lot of effort into them. However, we're also community builders and community impact experts. So that's why we lead initiatives like the COVID Community Response Fund that you mentioned and that I'll talk about a little bit later. One of the really big things that I think it's important to know is that we are 100% local. So all of the money we raise in the community stays in the community. We employ people.
So amazing. That means a lot for sure.
Right, exactly. Our procurement policies support the local economy. We have our own local board of directors, our own local charitable number, and our own local group of volunteers who actually review the applications and decide where the funding goes. And all of that happens right here in HPE at the local level.
Excellent.
So
I know when people do, sorry, it's so hard to do over Zoom, but I know when people donate, they always like helping people wherever it's needed, but it is very nice to have the confirmation that it is used locally.
That's right. Yeah, it's great to know that 100% of the funds raised here in this community stay right here, for sure. And through that fundraising, we are able to support 41 agencies and 63 programs across Hastings and Prince Edward, and which means that 1 in 4 people locally within those 2 counties will actually use one of the programs that are funded through our funding. So that's our friends, ourselves, our neighbors. That's a lot of people that are being touched by this help locally.
That's huge. That's a great statistic. Wow, 1 in 4. That's awesome.
Yeah. So of course, this means that we're really efficient, we're really effective, and we utilize community volunteers to review the funding applications to ensure that the funding that's invested, it's going to reliable organizations that need the financial support and that they themselves are transparent and well governed. And a lot of the work that we do actually falls within 3 priority pillars. These are sort of common pillars, although we have tailored them for the local need. So lots of people will be familiar with From Poverty to Possibility, All That Kids Can Be, and the Building of Strong Communities. Because we really feel that focusing on those 3 areas will improve the quality of life for everyone locally. And a significant part of our work follows this AIM approach, something that we've borrowed again from United Ways across Canada. And it's really a 3-pronged approach to community impact that includes funding, but then it also includes the mechanisms for creating lasting and measurable change through advocacy and the mobilization of community volunteers and the community service agencies themselves. So that is, the three key principles to advocate, invest, and mobilize.
Excellent. Okay, so now I know this has been something on everybody's mind for the last 4 or 5 months. So what have you, not what you've been doing specifically, but just the whole COVID-19 and ways that our community organizations are helping out. And I know you have been doing a lot. So if you could let us know a few of the things you've been doing.
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. We've been really active since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic with activities like our Community Response Fund, the sharing of community resources, our seniors grocery delivery program, and the distribution of various federal funding allotments. So we recognized early on that we did have a really significant role to play in ensuring the community safety net was strong locally. So in mid-March, we launched our COVID Community Response Fund. And we've actually partnered with Procter & Gamble and a multitude of social service organizations to not only raise funds, but also products and get them to the agencies that need them. To date, over $65,000 in funding has been raised, and more than $288,000 of product has been donated in kind.
Wow.
Yeah, so amazing. So that's things like diapers, wipes, sanitary products, laundry soap, all of that coming from P&G, and over 24 tons of food coming from Nestle. So we've been able to rapidly deploy that to these agencies that you can see here across Hastings and Prince Edward County.
That is amazing. Yes, the community would be hard pressed without all of the support that they've been given through local businesses and organizations.
Absolutely. So many people have stepped up and organizations have really recognized the role. Yeah. So
now I just have a question, sorry. With the grocery program and that, is it still running? Like, can people still have their groceries delivered if they are unable to go do it themselves?
Yeah, so with the grocery program specifically, we started that in April. Right now we've committed to running it until August 19th. So yes, anybody who right now is in need of groceries can call us Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, our grocery delivery days locally. With things opening back up, we are looking to phase that out right now, but we're definitely ensuring that those that we've been working with have something in place and are able to get groceries. So yeah, I mean, we've been really fortunate. Again, with this program, we were able to partner with organizations and businesses locally, like Performance Sales and Accessories. They gave us the use of their cargo van for, well, it started off as 3 months and now it's been more like 4.5, and bullet signs and graphics, they did it up. So it's the United Way COVID van, and people see it, on the street, which is great. And we've had support from the Belleville Auxiliary Police who volunteered to help, and they're doing grocery deliveries with us every week. So it's just been phenomenal to have that.
Excellent. Yes, that is amazing how much the businesses have stepped in and helped with all the problems that we're dealing with these days, and who knows when they're going to be done. Now, you'd mentioned briefly there, and I kind of cut you off, but how has the United Way been involved with the federal government relief funding programs?
Yeah, absolutely. So there were 2 of them that we've been invited to partner with the Government of Canada on. So the first one was with Canada's New Horizons for Seniors, and that increases the capacity of organizations obviously providing services to seniors across Hastings and Prince Edward. $9 million of funding was announced by the federal government, and those were distributed through United Ways across Canada based on StatsCan data of seniors in the area. So our United Way received $68,000. and we allocated the full $68,000 into organizations right here in Hastings and Prince Edward. So those, the full list of agencies that receive that funding are available on our website, as well as the second round of funding. So in April, the government announced $350 million in community support funding to strengthen the capacity of community service organizations who are really meeting the urgent needs of vulnerable Canadians and families affected by COVID-19. So this has been in the news recently, but we were very excited to partner and to be the intermediary, one of three that the government chose. So the United Way Canada were chosen, the Community Foundations of Canada, and the Canadian Red Cross Society. All three of those organizations are on the ground. They know the community needs. They're working with a network. So we were able to distribute $497,316 to over 23 organizations. We put out an open call to the whole community, so it went well beyond our existing networks. We were able to form a lot of new partnerships with this funding, and we're really excited to see, the impacts that it'll make over the coming months. So again, full listings of this funding are available on our website as well.
That's exciting. My goodness. Imagine where we'd be without it. That's great. Now, what are some of the programs and services available?
For sure. Yeah, so like I mentioned, we fund 41 agencies and 63 programs across Hastings and Prince Edward counties. I've got the full list of them here, but I have selected a few to discuss here today and share some information about. The first one that I'd really like everyone to really be aware of is 211. So 211 is Canada's primary source of information on government and community-based social services, and it's supported across Canada by United Ways, and so locally it's supported by HPE. 211 is an award-winning service that helps people navigate the complex network of human services quickly, easily, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can get it in over 150 languages. It's available by phone, chat, text, in different regions. So you can just dial 211 on any phone and connect to community services, or you can go to 211.ca. It connects people to the right information and services. So, if you're not sure where to turn, where help is, this is one of the best resources and guides that you can use. And it helps, Canadians become more engaged in their communities by providing specialized support. Some examples, of what you can use 211 for. You may have just moved to the area and you're unsure who to call to arrange for your medical appointments, transportation back and forth to those. You're worried about going grocery shopping during the pandemic. You could call 211 and be referred to a service like ours, or there are several other services like that in the region. Your furnace just broke and you don't have the means to fix it right now. You don't have to. The best part about 211 is you can call and say, I'm hungry, I don't know where to turn. And they really know how to navigate the system and help you find, a meal program or whatever it is really quickly.
What a great resource. It can be so mind-boggling to try and find something when you need it, and especially if you're under stress or you don't have a computer to look for everything. So that's amazing that there is a number that people can call and get the help they need.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love it that you don't even necessarily need to know what you need. Like you don't need to know that you're looking for a food bank or a meal program. You can literally just say, I'm hungry, and they'll help you from there. So, yeah.
That's great.
Another one of the programs that I'd like to share locally is our freshforall.ca. this one, you know, it's really easy for anyone in the community to participate. I know we have a lot of gardeners locally. So if you just plant, you know, an extra row of vegetables early in the season, or, you know, as we're starting to gather our harvest this year, and you've given your neighbors a whole load of zucchini already, and you're like, what do I do with the rest? You know, 2-in-1 is a great way to help you share that with the whole community. And it provides resources to help you find a local meal program or food bank that are accepting fresh food. And a lot of people don't know that food banks, especially local ones, have the ability to accept fresh food. A lot of it is because of this program. They've purchased freezers and things like that, and they can have fresh food all throughout the year.
That's great. I'd never heard of Fresh for All, so that's really great to hear.
Freshforall.ca. You can go there and type in the local area. There's a map of all the different depots that are collecting fresh produce throughout the year. And these are some pictures. We have our own 12 garden beds right here in the heart of Belleville at our offices. We share these with the Salvation Army, who take some time tending to them as well. And then, of course, our neighbors can take what they need, and at the end of the season, anything left over is donated to various meal programs.
Oh, that's excellent. Gives everybody a chance to get their hands dirty and do a little weeding and some gardening and have a great result when you're done.
My favorite part of the summer, and it makes a great place to have lunch, you know, so.
Yes, definitely. Very nice. So what are you working on next?
Yeah, well, over the summer months, we've been offering community drive-through barbecues. It's a new concept for us, but we thought, how can we get out in the community and connect with people and still be able to maintain social distancing? So the idea of drive-through barbecues was born. And so far, we've had stops in Bancroft, Deseronto, and Tweed. We'll be in Quinte West and Picton next. And then, of course, in Belleville, on September 15th, we're going to have a drive-through barbecue. More details to come, so stay tuned on our social media, but it will definitely be September 15th in Belleville, which will coincide with the launch of our annual fundraising campaign. So I hope everybody stops by for a free hot dog, hamburger, and you just drive right through and wave to us on your way by.
That sounds delicious, and such a good cause too. I mean, what you're doing is amazing for the community. So hopefully you get a large crowd out. I know it's so different now. It's not the socializing and the everything that we are used to, but still going to get some good food by the sounds of it.
For sure. Yeah, and we'd love to see at least a quick smile and wave from a distance.
Now, so with the annual fundraising campaign, what do you do with the funds that you raise?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. As I mentioned earlier, all funding decisions are made locally. So they're made by a volunteer citizen review committee. So people from all different types, walks of life in the community, business owners, social service sector employees, anybody who's really interested in learning more about the community and how this process works, they come together to act on behalf of the community. They get some training, they learn about what the community needs are, and then they review and evaluate and score every single request for funding that we get in. So like I said, they have a variety of backgrounds and skill sets, because it really does take a significant amount of time and effort for them to receive the training and go through each application. So under the guidance of the community impact team, they're trained, and then these community-minded volunteers rank the various applications and make funding recommendations to the board of directors. And our promise to our donors is to ensure that donations have the greatest impact as possible in our community. So we do that by holding an annual application process. So every year we go through this process, that gives the agencies the opportunity, when they're applying for funding, to talk about the impact and tell our volunteer applications review committee what their programs are doing and the impact that they're seeing in our community. And this way it also ensures, you know, the accountability. Giving through United Way, you know, we make sure that they meet the highest levels of governance, financial transparency, and operational accountability for every agency that gets funded.
Oh, great. Yes, that's great to hear. Now, so do you have some statistics or anything on, I guess you do. I just see them on my screen now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, it takes a lot to know, you know, where the funding is needed and making sure that it is having an impact. So through research, consultation, and experience, we do, you know, get a feeling for where the greatest need in the community is. Through the annual applications, the agencies are able to tell us about evolving needs and things that they're seeing. So by learning more about the factors that influence these issues, we can definitely ensure that funding is directed to the programming that's needed in order to develop the long-term solutions. And locally, you know, we can see this impact. For instance, we know that seniors now outnumber children in Canada, and there are 1,149 Hastings and Prince Edward County seniors who are receiving help with their meals, their transportation, and other factors that really help them stay at home from a United Way funded agency, right? So this gives them their independence as long as possible. And for instance, when someone gives a donation of $5 per week, this helps provide a senior with 43 hot meals in the year. So again, really able to maintain their health, their independence through these nutritionally planned meals, you know, an entree, soup, salad, dessert, and they don't have to worry about any of that. It also provides a little bit of socialization. Of course, this picture would look very different in 2020, yes. But there is a little bit of check-in that happens, you know, the volunteer delivery, people get to know the clients and get to see, you know, from one day to the next how they're doing, and there's that little bit of, yeah, just being aware.
And that's amazing for people who are isolated, all, you know, especially like you say now with COVID situation, just a knock on the door and somebody standing 10 feet away when you open it saying, hi, you doing okay?
Exactly.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Now, all these great things that you're doing, how do people get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there are tons of ways for people to get involved, and certainly I would say lots of the social service organizations could really use, you know, a little bit of an extra hand if anybody does have time or the ability to get involved. So I would say, you know, if you're interested in supporting programs and services and volunteering locally, I would definitely check out Volunteer and Information Clinic. They are a United Way HPE funded agency, and you can contact them at 613-969-8862, and they will help connect you with programs in general that are looking for people. But if you're looking to learn more about anything discussed today, to make a donation, we have lots of giving options, including plan giving, or if you'd like to get involved with events, programming, or that allocations process that I mentioned, please don't hesitate to reach out to us directly, and we can be reached at 613-962-9531.
Excellent. Well, it's definitely a great way to give back to your community, that's for sure. And I've learned a lot today, and I'm sure everybody else has. And I'd like to thank you for coming, Jodi, and thank you for giving us all this information.
Well, thank you again, Karen. I really appreciate the opportunity to share, and I really do welcome questions. I understand, you know, this is happening asynchronously and I'll be recorded, but if anybody had questions once they see it, please reach out.
Excellent. I'm sure they will, and keep up the great work, and hopefully we will have you on again in the future to discuss what other great things you're doing.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.